All right, so I'll share it on Facebook and we are ready to go. Live from your living room, it's Friday night! Welcome to AMF Comedy Spectacular! With musical guests Hollis Black, Winston Hodges, Joel Brill, Nick Larson, and your host, Kevin Collier.
Yeah.
All right, everybody. Here we are. It is AMF Comedy Spectacular, another Friday night, capping off the week right. And I am Kevin Collier. Welcome to the show. If you're watching us here on Twitch or on our YouTube archives, and thank you for being here on Zoom as well. We do this every Friday night at 8 o'clock Pacific, so feel free to tune in one of these weeks if you're not here now. But yeah, so it's been an interesting week. I feel like I say every week, there's always some big story. But right now, our president has gotten coronavirus, which in other news, man plays with fire, gets burned. It's pretty crazy. So, you know, his whole health is in question because for years he hasn't really been straightforward with his actual health, and a lot of people have questioned what his health experts are saying. So who knows? It could go either way. I mean, a lot of people don't even think it's real right now because he's lying all the time. So it's just a crazy time. And I think honestly, like if this thing does take him, I would not be surprised if his last words are something along the lines of execute Order 66, you know, and just going out to all the Proud Boys and Star Wars fans out there that surprisingly are one and the same. Um, it's just funny how quickly we go from talking about the presidential election and how awful that also this week the debate was to is Mike Pence our president now? I don't even know. Like I try not to be surprised anymore because it's all just so crazy. But you know, as always, I'm happy to be here doing this show, trying to bring a little levity to people's lives because we all apparently need it. It's crazy out there. Um, I don't know. It's been a crazy time working from home. My my work this week, it came out in the media, so I guess it's like I can talk about it. But there was a cyber attack or a virus that they detected, and they just shut down the whole system. So today is the first day of the week that I've actually been able to do work. So Monday through Thursday was like a not technically a vacation day. I'm already working from home, but I literally can't do anything. And so it was ridiculous. And, you know, I think just working from, I've been doing it for 6 months now. It's crazy how long, like if I look back and like it was March when I when I came home, and now this is just like the other day I was driving around and I was like, do I even remember how to get to the office? Like it's been that long. And you know, it's I keep being surprised by things for some reason. Like this year has been the worst And somehow there's still surprises around the corner, and they're usually not good. Like a few weeks ago, I had a COVID scare. Thank goodness I didn't have it. I got a negative test. But I just like every week I'm like, what is it gonna be? What is it this week? And in like a little over a month, we're gonna know who wins the election in the U.S. And then we might not even have like one of the candidates alive anymore. Like I don't know. Sports are still going, I guess, without fans. We're the NBA finals already, um, which is pretty cool, I guess, if you're into that. And the Lakers made it to the finals for the first time in years, and in this same year that Kobe died in a helicopter crash. That like once again another thing about this year that just makes no sense whatsoever. So I mean, if you're a sports fan, it's cool because all of the sports are pretty much in playoffs around the same time, which doesn't normally happen. But yeah, it's been a crazy year, and I'm every week I'm just like I'm gonna do this show. I'm planning on doing the show, but I don't even know like if any of us are gonna still be. But I just have to laugh because I keep surviving for some reason. But yeah, no, I'm happy to be here. I'm happy to have we have a great lineup for tonight, and like to actually bring up our first guest, Hollis Black.
Hi
Woo!
there.
Hello. You got some wallpaper going on in the background
Yeah,
there.
yeah. Um, all right, so I'm mostly going to be playing covers tonight because it's been years since I've played music for people. I miss being in a band. Um, I was a comedian, but then all of this happened, and it's a thing of like, no, I don't want to do comedy on Zoom. That sounds like it's going to give me an anxiety attack. I'm good.
Well, hopefully music does not do that for
That
you.
said, I'm sorry to the person who's following me because this first song is from Elliott Smith. um, this song is called Pizzala. I'll tell you why I don't wanna know where you are. I got a dream, I'll be dying. It's your silent kid is looking down there to make the noise that I kept so quiet. Kept it from you, Pizzala. I'm not what's missing from your life now. I could never be the puzzle pieces. They say God makes problems just to see what you can stand for. You do as the devil pleases. Give up the thing you love. No one deserves it. The first time I saw you, I knew it would never last. I'm not half of what I wish I was. I'm so angry. I don't think it'll ever last. I was bad news for you just because I never meant to hurt you. Thank you.
Woo. All right, thank you, Hollis. Give it up for Hollis. Hollis will be back throughout the show after some comedy. So yeah, with that said, I want to bring up our next guest for the show, um, Winston Hodges.
Oh my goodness. Thanks for having me.
Hey, thanks for being here. You you joined us last minute, and I know
Last minute, baby.
you are in Eastern time. So where are
Yeah.
you located?
I live in DC now, so I was coming from a live show out here, and I get to do comedy here, and get to do a couple. It's great. Zoom is great. I get to bomb all over the country and never have to leave my room. Do you understand how freeing that is? It's such a freeing thing. Oh, oh my God.
Yeah, I pretty much never leave my house as well, so I totally get it. But yeah, so you're in DC. Like,
Yes, sir.
is it crazy out there right now with everything going on with the president? Like,
Yeah, I don't know if you heard, but he's done I don't even have to say anything after that. I could say, I don't know if you've heard, and you could say one of 40 different things, and it would be like, yeah, he said that. That's the thing that
yeah,
I'm excited about. Like one thing though, like if Trump, he has COVID, so like if he gets sick and dies before the election, we'll get a new president. You know, Mike Pence,
yeah.
4 years of that. That's who it's going to be. It'll be fun to watch Biden run a campaign where his campaign isn't "I'm not Trump."
Right.
Yeah, good luck beating somebody that also is not Trump. So we'll see.
I
How,
mean,
how that goes.
we can find out in a few days if the vice presidential debate just becomes the presidential debate. Like,
Ooh, that would be
you know,
fun. I like that. Or like he has to tag in. He'll just pick somebody. He picks Donald Trump Jr. to do the vice presidential debate. I think that'd be great.
yeah. So, did you grow up out there, or are you from somewhere else originally?
I'm from about 2.5 hours south of here, from like a rural part of Virginia. But like I started doing comedy in Richmond, Virginia.
Uh, and what brought you out to the DC area?
Oh man, it just felt like such a good time to move. You know how everything's really open and there's a lot of opportunities. It really felt like I just know that when everything opens back up, I had already been doing a bunch of shows up in DC, and it's a great comedy scene, and it's just
Okay,
I did everything I could do in Richmond. So I moved up here, and I'll be able to like kind of get the feel for the city before everything starts to come back.
nice.
Yeah.
A lot of history there, a lot of comedy there, apparently. So
There is a lot of history and a lot of comedy.
I did not know that was like a hotbed, but
Yeah, man.
I don't know
DC's
a lot of
great.
things, so you're educating me.
Where are you? I don't even know. I
Uh,
agreed to do this, but I'm like, where the
yeah,
fuck?
I'm in Phoenix area in Arizona,
Okay.
but I'm
Yeah.
originally from California, and I've been out here 3 years, 3.5 years now. So
Okay.
um,
What's it like not observing daylight savings? How's that feel? You guys
well, it
don't
was
do
weird
that,
at
right?
first because I was working with people in California
Okay.
out here. So when the time changed, I had to be like, wait, they're like an hour behind now? Like,
I don't
um,
think that it's fair that y'all are allowed to be different. I don't think that like, and it
I didn't
doesn't
make the rules. I honestly like I don't miss like having to be all fucked up for like a whole week.
like I get states' rights, but I think that the time shouldn't be covered under that. I feel
Well,
like
we could also argue that like it shouldn't be a thing at all for any
I
of the
agree.
states.
I absolutely agree. But if I have to suffer, the people in Phoenix have to suffer. I think
Well, we
that's
also have like 120-degree heat, so
oh, brutal. But it's a dry heat. That's what I hear.
yeah, it is a dry heat. Yeah, for sure, that makes a difference. And we don't really like get cold. Like it's fall right now, and we're just like, yeah, it gets down to like 60. I'm like, oh,
Oh, frigid.
so it's wild. But yeah, thanks for being here on short
No
notice.
problem.
Happy to have you here, and you know, welcome. Go ahead and take it away,
Hell
Winston
yeah.
Hodges.
Awesome. I love this was fun. This is a good time. Hollis, great job playing music. I love that you were like, I was a comic But fuck that shit. No one should be doing it on Zoom. So I picked up a guitar. I now play music. I was like, all right, I respect that. I respect not wanting to do fucking stand up online, but it's what we have to do. We have to persevere, folks. I'll just do a few jokes. I don't know, man. I watched the debate. I think everyone should watch the presidential debate. I watched it, and the one thing I took away from it is we need to go back and do elections the way we used to do elections in this country. Okay, and whoever loses becomes the vice president. All right. I think we need to go back to that. That's the way it used to be. The first 6 or 7 elections, the guy who got his ass whooped just had to work for the other guy for 4 years. Hell yeah. Give me the buddy cop film this country deserves. Okay. It's like a TGIF sitcom. All right. Will they, won't they kill each other? It's like Full House, but everybody has dementia. All right. I think it would be pretty fantastic to do. I think everything should be like that. All right. I think that literally everything should be like that. I think we would all treat our partners better if you knew that if you had sex with a woman and then she dumped you, when she got married, you have to be the best man. That's the way it works in my America. All right. Yeah. That's the way it works. We would be treating people a lot better. Just imagine every wedding. It's just, you would just be up there. There's no, I wonder if she fucked the groomsmen. It's like she fucked all of them, actually. She had sex with everybody up there. Because it's like, that's worse than walking in on someone having sex with your wife, right? Like that would be a worse situation. Because if I walked in on someone having sex with my wife, I wouldn't be expected to bring a gift and give a toast. That's the big difference. They're not going to be like, hey, everyone, I just want to wish Meredith and Jamal 5 more happy years. Thanks, Jamal, for fucking the shit out of my wife. I appreciate it. You're doing big things over there. I used to teach. I don't teach anymore. I quit my teaching job. I gave a 2 weeks notice, which is hilarious that teachers are allowed to give a 2 weeks notice, because I was not a guy that should have been allowed to hang out around kids for 2 weeks after I gave up. All right. That's not a thing. Yeah, no teacher should be allowed to do that. I was just like, this, what are they going to do? Fire me? I had all complete freedom. I got to teach what I wanted to teach. All right. I had a couple students come in and were like, hey, Mr. Hodges, what are we going to learn about today? And I was just like, put your mask on, pussy, because we're learning how to throw tear gas back at the cops. Let's go. Get in the bus. Let's do this. And one of my students was like, oh, but I'm a Republican. I'm like, well, get on, buddy. We'll go put the statues back up. It doesn't matter. All right. I got a well-rounded curriculum for my students. All right. It doesn't matter what side of the aisle you fall down on. I got you, buddy. I like the television show American Ninja Warrior. I had a coworker who was on the television show American Ninja Warrior. I watched him compete, not because I wanted to. He was just very strong, and I felt like I could not say no. And he fucked up in the first round. And he was like, yeah, and they put, yeah, the first round, and he showed it to me. He's like, yeah, this was my worst event. They put my worst event in the first round. He was like, Winston, if you did American Ninja Warrior, what do you think your worst event would be? And I was like, I don't know, dude. I'm pretty sure you got to be able to climb a ladder to get to the starting place. So don't think I'd be able to do that. So, yeah, I would be the first contestant in the history of American Ninja Warrior who the moment they started, I would run directly into the water because it was August and very hot. Okay, it's hot. I sweat a lot. They had this thing called the warped wall. And I was like, fuck that. I got tired when I used to go to Warped Tour. So I don't really think that I'm somebody. And if you stay tuned, great news. If they stay tuned, afterwards, they have American Ninja Warrior Junior, in case watching adults do shit you can't do doesn't make you feel bad enough. You can watch a 13-year-old named Aiden who looks like Christ on the cross go up a spider wall. It's like, holy shit, Aiden. It's like, who came up with the idea in the boardroom of, are you stronger than a 5th grader? All right. Who wants to watch that? I am not. All right. I'm not stronger than a 5th grader. I can't handle that even a little bit. I had a friend ask me, Winston, would you ever pay for sex? And I was like, nope, I would never pay for sex. And he was like, oh, you think you're too good to have to pay for sex? And I was like, no, I'm not too good. It's just that currently I'm not even paying for Netflix. So don't really see pussy working its way into my budget at all. Like, I don't think that. if I can't set aside $12.99 a month for all the Stranger Things I want to watch, how am I going to afford market price for Strange? I don't know how I'm gonna. Plus, I feel like I'm most guys. Like, right? If I really want to have sex, I'll do the same thing I do when I really want to watch Netflix and just beg my ex, just let me look at it, please, for the love of God. I'll just do the beginning. We don't even need to get to the end. All right, it'll only be 2 minutes. I my ex was a weird combination of she had incredibly low self-esteem, but she was very good at debate. So I don't know if anyone knows what that combination is like, but basically it means every night I would tell her how beautiful she was. And then an hour later, it would be me crying like, you're right, you're fucking ugly. I don't know what you want from me. You made a lot of very good points. I'm glad that you had a PowerPoint and a fucking pie chart. Thanks for bringing that into the bedroom. All right, you're great. You had all your notes ready to go. She told me she broke up with me because she wanted to have sex with a genius, which I had to inform her that a genius would never sleep with someone that would say that sentence. But she was trying to talk to me about, I didn't think it was fair. She didn't give me a chance. Right? Like, just tell me that. I'm not the smartest guy, but if someone tells me, Winston, I want you to be smarter in bed, I'll pick up a book. I'll take a class. And if I'm being honest, it wouldn't take a lot to talk me into inviting a guest speaker. All right. I'll bring him on in there, let him handle the job. I'll TA for some TNA. I feel like that's a fair assumption to make. That's almost right at 7 minutes. Kevin, thank you so much for letting me hop in here and go early. This was great. You guys are wonderful. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Give it up for Winston for joining late into the game and late into the night,
Ooh, yeah.
and just this thing from Richmond to DC to wherever everybody is at this current moment. Yeah, thank you for being here. No, it was great.
Thank you.
I'm glad you're not a teacher anymore if you hated it. Because that is not one of those jobs that you can just go into, like, if you hate, like, every day.
Yeah, it's like I loved it for 4 years and then COVID happened and it was like, I don't like this.
Yeah, I could see that. I mean, I got 2 daughters in school, and one of them was in virtual school. One of them's in virtual school. One of them's in preschool in person, because virtual school for preschoolers is like just pointless. Like,
it's just turning on Nickelodeon, right? You just
it's 4-year-olds trying to do this. Like,
yeah, that's awesome.
Like, they can't even read, and they're expected to know how to navigate a computer.
That's amazing.
And all that stuff. So,
well, Kevin, thank you so much. I have to run, but this was a really great show. This was awesome. Thank you.
Yeah, for sure. Well, have a good one. All right. And so I'd like to invite Hollis back to play some more music.
Sure. All right. This one is specifically dedicated to you, Kevin, because it's a cover from a band that I know you like. This is I Can Barely Breathe by the Manchester Orchestra.
Oh, nice.
Let's hope I can remember all the words. All right. When the dark flood came, wrapped ourselves inside of dirty blankets, citing different opinions, whether we should move. When the houses came, ate up everyone like they were fishes, saying, come on, come on, it's the end of the world. Then I saw your face, turning skin to a dirty secret. Watch the beauties, watch the pies. was dying, would it change? If you knew I was dying, would it change you? If you knew I was dying, would it change anything? So when you see me fall backwards down the wall, says I'm still alive. Well, don't be cautious, we'll cautiously approach on the other side. Everybody has their reasons, that's the reason we're gonna die. Because if seeing is believing, and I believe that we've lost our eyes. When never so low, fly so high. When never so low, fly so high. We all deserve, we all deserve something.
Woo! Well done. Well done. Thank you for dedicating a song to me.
Anytime.
I did not know that's what I needed tonight, but appreciate you. All right. Our next guest on the show is Joel Brill.
All right.
Hey, welcome to the show.
Thank
See, you
you.
brought your professional stage background with you.
Goes wherever I go.
Yeah, I always like to see how people get creative with different backgrounds, different microphones on Zoom, because it's like, we have options. At a live show, you just have to use what's there, but in the
Right.
virtual space, you can be anything you want.
Exactly. Yeah.
Well, thank you for being here. We were talking about how we met years ago at a show called Night of 100 Comics, and I met Hollis that same night. So small world. Um, that was an idea that someone made. That was there were not 100 comics there. There were maybe like 70, but nobody needs to like sit and watch that many comics.
I couldn't. I didn't want to stay that late. It was a pretty seedy neighborhood, and I had my wife with me, and she's going, "We're
Yeah.
out of here." So
I had actually invited a friend to that I went to college with and probably hadn't seen in like 5 years, and he was in town. And I was like, "Hey, come to this thing. I'm doing this tonight." And I don't know if I regret it because it was cool to hang out with him, but it was definitely a mixed bag of comedians there.
yes, without a doubt.
But your style really like stuck with me, and I always wanted to have you on a show, so here we are.
All right. Thanks.
So have you been doing comedy for a long time, or?
6 years, a little over 6.5.
Okay.
So I was pretty new. I think I had been doing it a year when you and I did that show.
Okay. So what made you decide to get into that?
Actually, I did it like 35 years ago, and did it for about 3 months. Showcased at the Comedy Store, got on the list, and got called back and to be on the shows. And it was we had a child, a 2-year-old. We were trying to have another kid. I had a really good job, and getting home at 1 or 2 in the morning, and then getting up at 6 and getting on the phone with the East Coast. I just had to make a decision, and I really wanted to be a family man, a father, and a husband. So I said, nope, I'll come back someday. And so I retired 6 years ago, and I'm back. Um, always wanted to do comedy. Always loved making people laugh. Always loved telling jokes as a kid, and you know, way before all your time. But on Sunday, we all watched Ed Sullivan on TV, and he always had
Yeah,
Nick, and I always wanted to be one of those guys. And yeah, so it.
sweet.
Yeah, it's great. I love it. I'm very busy. Before the virus, I did like 12 shows in 14 days. And the only reason I didn't do more was the 2 days I was on a plane going to Hawaii or back to do shows. So it was great. I was on a real good roll at the beginning of this year and the last year. And then, so,
Yeah, I just shut everything down, whether you were doing great or not. It's
yeah,
just like we're all in the same boat now.
yeah. And
Welcome to 2020.
yeah, and I'm doing a lot of Zooms. I appreciate you having me on tonight's show. You know, I'm doing like 4 Zooms a week, three a week. So
Nice.
it keeps me writing, it keeps me fresh, and yeah. So
Yeah, and that was one of the reasons I wanted to start the show because I used to, produce shows in person, and I was like, I hadn't done it in a while, and you know, I kind of got the idea that it wasn't coming back anytime soon. I was like, I don't want to get rusty. I don't want to like lose, like that writing type thing. And, some weeks like I'm trying to write jokes about what's happening in the news and there's just so much going on and it, keeps me sharp. So,
yeah,
for
keeps me
sure.
depressed. It keeps me depressed watching the news and trying.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah,
Really
for
hard.
sure.
Really hard.
But then there's like not, I mean, we didn't have sports for a while. We didn't really have a lot of new
Right.
TV shows. So there wasn't like a lot else on.
No,
So it's like you either be depressed watching something or depressed not watching something. So
exactly.
either way. So, but yeah, so thank you for being here. Go ahead and take it away.
Great. It's funny. Somebody asked me if I was prepared for tonight's show, and I'm always prepared. I was a Boy Scout. Our motto was "Be prepared." Be prepared, and don't touch me there. So I bought new shoes, and the soles have memory foam in them. They're not very comfortable, but at least now I always know why I walked into the room. I'm not wearing them tonight because I forgot where I put them. Like a lot of comics, I have weird thoughts. I was thinking the other day, if a death row inmate orders Chinese food as his last meal, should it include a fortune cookie? I mean, I'd give him a cookie with no fortune in it. Or a fortune with tomorrow's winning lottery numbers. or better yet, sneak in a fortune that says, meet me in the courtyard tomorrow at 8, we're breaking out of here. Or my favorite, help, I'm being held captive in a Chinese fortune cookie factory. And, if you think about it, it's a good idea to get Chinese food as your last meal because at least you won't be hungry an hour later. I recently lost like almost 120 pounds. Actually, it was like 90 pounds, but I'm rounding up. Sounds better. The weight loss was a journey of small steps. The first step I did was I joined a gym, and that kind of sucked. The people that ran my gym, they were jerks. I was at the gym one day. I was on the exercise bike for an hour and a half. An hour and a half. And the gym manager comes over and with an attitude goes, "Sir, if you're not going to pedal." And then the son of a bitch reached over and took one of my donuts. So, told you he was a jerk. The second step I took was diets. I have been on and off every diet at least 2 or 3 times. Hell, I've been on and off Jenny Craig more times than her husband has. And then someone said, try a 12-step program. He said, it doesn't matter which program you go to. Go to the one that's closest to your home. They're all the same. So an AA meeting around the corner from my house, walk into Alcoholics Anonymous, and I looked around. I was surprised. I'm like, these people don't look like drunken bums. Then I went try to Narcotics Anonymous, and I went in, I looked around, and I go, wow, these people don't look like crackheads. I went to Overeaters Anonymous. I walked in, I looked around. Nothing was about. So I ended up going back to Alcoholics Anonymous because, well, at least they serve donuts. Actually, I went to UCLA Medical Center and I did their weight loss program. It's a unique process where you cut out 75% of your carbs, 75% of your fats, and 75% of your life savings. That way you can't buy food. Actually, they cut out 75% of my stomach. Really did. I had the surgery. I was so excited. After I lose all this weight, I'd be able to show off my six-pack abs. And turns out, when all you have is 25% of your stomach left, you can do all the sit-ups you want. The best you're going to end up with is a two-pack. Before you have the surgery, you have to get authorization from all these different doctors, heart doctors, kidney doctors, all these doctors. One of the doctors was a psychologist. Now, my wife, who I lovingly refer to as my little dream killer, she was thrilled. She goes, you need to see a mental health professional. You're always acting angry. So I'm not acting. I'd go see the shrink. First of all, she's expensive. I think she used to work for the airlines because she charged me for my extra baggage. She was really frustrated with me. Halfway into the interview, she's like rubbing her head and is like, okay, let's try something different. Let's play a fantasy game. If you could do it over, would you marry your wife again? I said, no. She said, well, what if that meant you wouldn't have the same kids you have today? And I was like, oh, this game just keeps getting better and better. So I've been married 45 years, and the one thing I know is the secret to a happy marriage is still a secret. After the surgery, the doctor told me it was very important. First thing in the morning, get on the scale naked, weigh myself. He said, you'll be surprised. Next morning, I got on the scale naked and surprised, they won't let me back in the gym. Told you they were dicks. And, I'm a little bit of a trivia buff. And here's a little known fact. Arnold Schwarzenegger is a classically trained pianist. When he was a boy, his class was having a piano recital. And his teacher said they should all dress up as their favorite composer. And one boy was like, I want to be Mozart. And a girl said, I want to be Chopin. And Arnold jumped up and said, I'll be Bach. And a couple of you may have groaned, but after the show, I know you'll be tweeting that one. I'm Joel Brill. Thanks for having me on the show, Kevin. Thank you all for watching.
Woo! Thank you, Joel. Thank you for being here. Yeah, it's a pleasure having you on here. Before you go, do you have any wisdom for my generation?
Your generation, quit whining, keep work, get a job. Don't stop. Get out of your parents' house. It's time to move on. I have all these jokes about your generation, and all people do is whine when I do it, so I kind of avoid them.
I was looking for like more serious advice than jokes, but okay.
I don't know. My kids are millennials, and I'm real nice to them because they're the ones that are going to be responsible for pulling the plug on me in a few years. So you know what? Don't take life so seriously. Enjoy it. It gets better as you get older. I will tell you, I've had a good life, but I'm having the best time right now. So
Sweet.
doing
Well,
this.
thank
Thanks.
you. Thank you
Yeah,
so much for being here, Joel.
thank you.
Thanks.
Our final guest of the evening is Mr. Nick
All
Larson.
right. Hello. How
Hey,
are you? Thanks
how
for
are?
having me, Kevin. Appreciate it.
Yeah, I'm
Appreciate it.
doing well. How are you?
Fantastic. Aren't you? Aren't you fantastic? This is going swimmingly.
Right?
This is an amazing show.
Um, yeah. So, you have a podcast, Secret Minorities
I do.
podcast, right?
Secret Minorities. Yeah, Secret Minorities podcast with my girlfriend,
So,
Danielle Larson,
how's that
who you
going?
met her on the previous show.
Yeah,
And
I had Danielle on the show, and you guys host that together, right?
yes, we do. Yes, we do.
Okay.
The
So
basic premise is that we are both Latin, but you can't tell. So everybody thinks we're white, so that's why it's called Secret Minorities. Uh,
nice.
it's not just all about that. I mean, obviously, it's a comedy podcast, but we try when we do have guests, we're going to try to get guests that look, at least ethnically ambiguous to the least. To the least.
I'm sure you know enough LA comics that fit that bill.
I guess no, I don't know any. Actually, we're in Stockton. No, we're not in LA. So,
Oh, really?
yeah. Do
You
you know
guys
where that
moved out
is?
there, or?
I've been here my whole life. She moved out
Yeah.
here, so
Okay.
yeah. That
So
poor baby.
that's cool. And so yeah, I mean, you guys being home and like, are you working from home or?
Well, I'm a photographer as well, so when I get the chance, I get booked. I'm out, but that's
Yeah.
for an hour, hour and a half, and then I'm back home. So
Nice.
not a whole lot of breaks
Yeah.
from quarantine.
How did you get into doing comedy originally?
I used to work at Coca-Cola, and I was always the goofball because we started work at like 4:30 in the morning,
Yeah.
and I found that being funny, I was able to stay at the branch longer because I was making the managers laugh. Because you're supposed to go in, you get your schedule, and then take off. While I would
Yeah.
be cracking jokes, and then they would be laughing. I would have like an extra half an hour to wake up, and then like, all right, get the hell out of here. You're taking up too much time. You're on the clock. I'm like, all right, buddy, I'm out. And one of the employees was like, dude, I saw this open mic out in on this small town, and I was like, all right, maybe I'll try it. So I started writing. I went to the place. I saw a couple people. I don't know if do you know Sal Trujillo? You know who that is?
No, I do not.
That's a buddy of mine. Well, he's out in LA now. He's
Uh,
he's killing it out there. But yeah, I met him, and we instantly became buddies. So it's been a wild ride so far. It's fun. That's 8.5 years ago.
wow. Yeah. I started 10 years ago, and I'm kind of like Joel in that, like, when we got pregnant with our first kid, I was just like, oh, I just got super busy and stopped doing it for like 3 years. So asked me like,
Yeah,
how long you been doing it? I'm like, I started 10 years ago, but I took a long break and then I realized I missed it and came back. So
yeah. How long of a break did you take?
it was almost 3 years. And I
3
just
years?
was, yeah, I was
Wow.
so busy, like,
Yeah, yeah,
and
yeah.
then I also got to a point where I was doing comedy in LA and it's like so oversaturated and like
That's
you
true.
try to go to mics and you would get
Pay for
like,
mics.
yeah, I didn't live in LA, so I lived about an hour from there, but that's where all the mics were. So I had
Uh-huh.
to go out there on a work night after work and then like spend hours waiting to do maybe 3 or 5 minutes on an open mic and then sometimes not even get on, or you
Yeah,
get on and there's no
that's rough.
audience. And so I
That's
kind of
rough.
got to a point where I was like, should I even be doing this?
Pretty much.
And so yeah, life got in the way, and after having our kid, our first kid, we have three now, but after having our first kid, it was like I was just like I need to get back into this. So like I just really miss doing it.
Hmm.
But I mean, you have a daughter, right?
Yeah, I have a daughter. I have a 6-year-old daughter, and I have a 13-year-old son.
Okay.
Yeah, so I got
Um,
I got two little assholes.
did you ever like take any breaks from comedy when they were younger, or you just
Oh, I was
kind
gonna
of?
say, did you plan them? No, I did not. But yeah, I've never. That's why I was asking you. It's very intriguing when someone says that they take a break from comedy because of the quarantine. This is the first break I've taken, and
Yeah.
I can imagine it's going to take another quarantine in order for me to take this kind of break. This
Yeah,
is
it
rough.
wasn't really intentional. It was just one of those things where like I stopped doing it for a little bit.
Life gets in the way, pretty
Yeah, and then
much.
I was
Yeah,
like,
makes sense.
I looked back at like Facebook memories and it was like, wait, this show that I did, which was the last show I was booked on, was like 2 years ago. And like, I don't
Uh-huh.
know. So, I
No,
just
I
I
mean,
just kind of eased my way back into it.
the night that we had, the evening that we had my daughter, I went to a show right after. I was like, yeah, I saw you. I've been through this before. Let's go fucking do a show.
Yeah. Yeah, and I've been home with them for so long that it's like, me doing this every week is not a big deal. It's like,
Yeah,
or if I go out and do anything at this point, it's like, yeah, we see each other all the time now,
yeah,
like,
definitely.
so. Yeah, well, thank you so much for being here.
No problem.
Wanted to shout out your podcast, Secret Minorities,
I also have
and
a Joke Me Off podcast as well with Sal Trujillo. We've been
okay.
doing that for about 7 years.
So, do
So
you
check.
have like, is there a theme on that, or is it just talking?
That is blatant racism. Um, it's mostly us doing Mexican voices and just
Okay.
talking ridiculous. So if you're super high, it's an amazing podcast. It's fun. New people, I always tell new people if they listen, just don't take it seriously. It's just us saying stupid shit just to please ourselves. So
Nice.
that's why it's called Joke Me Off.
Yeah. All right. Well, thank you for letting me know about that as well, and I will go ahead and hand it over to you. So,
All right. Again, thank you for having me on. This is the first Zoom show for me, so this is a new. I'd like to call it a milestone, but it's kind of like a mild stone since there's no viewers right now. But it's this must be what COVID feels like. You know what I mean? This is I feel like I have it right now. This is a hard feeling because I went 6 months from like I'm not doing a fucking Zoom show. And then she was like, "You should do this. It was fun." And I'm like, "All right, I guess I'll try it." And then yeah, I'm performing to the performers. So this feels like an open mic. It feels good. It feels fantastic. I already feel the frustration because I do at home learning with my daughter, with my 6-year-old daughter. She does the Zoom classes, which, side note, teachers do not get paid enough to deal with 20 kids going, teacher, 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 when's class over, teacher? It's like, we just started. It's 8:05. She's like, yeah, but when's class done? It's ridiculous. Oh man, I hate it. Sometimes I forget that my daughter is 6. You know, when I'm trying to teach her how to read, I'm like, okay, you can't hit this tiny person. You got to remember this. She's 6 years old and she doesn't know anything. And you're like, this is why I'm not a teacher, and this is why I'm a comedian because I have no patience at all. And my girlfriend, she has to step in. She calms me down like I'm the Hulk. You're like, you're gonna be okay. You know, the sun is rising, big guy, or whatever she says. The Black Widow says the Hulk. She's like, get the fuck out of here. I'll teach your daughter. I'm like, thank God you're around, because this is awful. This is a horrible thing. But I know a lot of people are complaining because of COVID. It does suck that we're not doing shows, but I'm fucking thriving in this shit. I am made for staying inside. This is my jam. I am a daddy long leg. I am just tucked in the corner. I am doing great. I'm playing all the games. I beat all of them. I'm having a good time. I'm having a good time. It's just me and my son. We're playing games. And now I can't get mad at him for playing games 24/7. Like when I had a normal job and I was doing comedy and photography, I was like, dude, you're on the game 13 hours a day. You have to you smell like ass. Get up. Take a shower. But now I'm doing the same, so I can't get mad. You know what I mean? He's like, Dad, you stink. Go take a shower. I'm like, what? What day is it? I'm playing God of War. Leave me alone. Did you eat cereal? I don't. Never mind. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. So yeah, it's fun because yeah, now I can't get mad at him for playing games all day long because I'm doing the same shit. Because when it comes to a 13-year-old kid, his whole life is quarantine, you know? His whole life is shut in. He has no car. He has no job. All he's going to do is play games and play with his penis. So, you know, that's nice to have that in common with him now. We're really bonding. It's a ridiculous time right now. And yeah, I do have a 6-year-old daughter. She's I wouldn't say she's the pretty one. She's the pretty one. I call her a bag of rocks. Because I hesitate to say she's dumb as a stump, but she's close to it. But she's very beautiful. She's very beautiful. She is, and she's liar. She's a liar. She likes to lie. I caught her in a lie. She was writing on the cat tree, and I was like, "Excuse me, did you write on the cat tree?" And she's like, "No." And I'm like, "Are you sure?" I'm pretty sure you wrote on the cat tree. And boldface. She's like, "No, I didn't." I was like, "Your fucking name is on the cat tree. All right, it's in glitter. How did you not write on it? Did your fucking 13-year-old brother? He's setting you up." It's a Ponzi scheme. How dare you? And she just looks at me with those eyes. I'm like, "You're too adorable. I can't get mad at you. So let's go get ice cream." Let's do that. But she's an interesting one. I remember because my kids, obviously 7, she's going to be 7. My son's going to be 14, 7 years apart. It was so hilarious when we sat down, my ex and I sat down with my son. We're like, "Hey, look, we're going to have another baby. You know, we're going to have a little girl." And him being 7, like being the only child, selfish as hell. He started bawling. He bawled his ass off. He's like, "But I don't want to have a baby. I don't want to have a baby." I'm like, "Bro, you have 4 teeth in your head. You're not having anything. What are you talking about? Shut up and go eat some Chex Mix or something." It's ridiculous. I'm like, "We're having, you don't even worry about it. You're not going to do anything." And little did he know he was the built-in babysitter. I was like, "You know how to make sandwiches. Let's do this." It's great, man. It's great. But these kids are awesome. My daughter is an interesting one because she's cute and she has that slight lisp that is just so adorable. All little kids have it, and it just melts your heart. Like everything that she says is kind of like a backwards word. She like mixes up her words. She says remember instead of remember. You know, just stuff like that. It's like very cute. And with that lisp, I was on the couch. I was watching TV. I was eating some peanuts, and she comes up behind me. She's like, "Oh, Dad, I love penis." I was like, "Oh shit!" I was like, "There is a T in that word. Get that shit right, please. What are they teaching you on Zoom? You know, it's ridiculous." I was like, I threw away all the peanuts in the house. Everybody in the house has a peanut allergy from now on, like a good white family. You know, ridiculous. And it does get you in trouble sometimes because kids have no filter, and when they get to a certain age, they do whatever they want, and they say whatever they want, and it's always going to be in public. They're always going to embarrass you in public. My daughter's learning rhyming. That's how they're learning how to form their words, rhyming, and then gets it stuck in their head. I took her to lunch and I bought her a juice. She's like, "This is good juice, Dad. This is juicy." I'm like, "That's what juice is. It's juicy. Good for you. I'm glad you're learning in class." And she starts doing her rhyming. She's like, "Juicy, juicy Lucy, juicy Lucy, juicy Foosy, juicy Foosy." I'm like, I think I know where this is going, you know? And sure enough, she was like, "Juicy Poosy, juicy Poosy." And I started laughing because I already knew it was coming, right? I knew it was coming. So she stopped and she's like, "I just made Dad laugh. I should probably keep going." She said she had Tourette's. She was like, "Juicy Poosy, juicy Poosy, juicy Poosy." I'm like, "Hey, hey, it's Poosey, okay? Relax." That has been my time. Thank you so much, Kevin, for having me. This felt amazing. It felt amazing. Will I do another Zoom show? Who's to say? You know. But I really appreciate you having me on. You're a cool dude, and thank you.
Thank you, Nick. Well, yeah, once again, check out his 2 podcasts, Nick Larson.
Yeah. And you
Check out
search
both
me,
of them.
Yeah, Nick Larson Comedy on Instagram. Just check it out if you want.
Sweet. All right. Well, we're going to close out the show with some music from Hollis.
Nice. Thank you.
Hey,
Thank you again for having me on this.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
So this one's a weird one because it's sort of a cover.
Okay.
When I was young, I was really into super heavy, abrasive, screamy music. And the problem with being into that kind of music is a lot of the times the lyrics are really great, but no one gives a shit because it sounds awful. And so I decided to take one of my favorite songs from a band called Lion of the North and turn it into a folk song so at least people could hear the lyrics because I like them.
Nice.
Well, sing a song to feeling young, and sing a song to where we'll run. Yeah, and in my youth, every song has sounded right, so right. Hey! And let's burn out like cassette tapes. Yeah, let's burn out like cassette tapes. And let's hear it, all the songs we'll never sing. And let's hear it, all the sights we'll never see. All the men will never be, never sleep. Oh, they can't dream. Oh, again, she said. And it's getting harder to remember our dreams. And all our hopes slowly hung from all the highest trains. And I'm confessing, missing friends who will never miss me. I'm confessing, missing friends who will never miss me. And we swore peaceful walls, oh, we find youth, we set it free. But all along it was safe in the hands of you and me. And we'll have to find our way without a star to guide us home. For the city skies are ashamed that we can lose what we unsung. And let's burn out like cassette tapes. Yeah, let's burn out like cassette tapes. Yeah, we'll run, yeah, we'll hide, can't escape who we are. And I can't recognize that man in my skin. Let's burn out like cassette tapes. Goddamn tapes.
All right, Hollis Black, thank you for closing out the show. Actually, I had someone on Twitch ask, what is the name of that song?
Oh, that song is called Ghost Stories, and it's from a band called Lion of the North, and the original is incredibly screamy, but if you like heavy music, it's real good.
Nice. It says someone from Argentina. So,
Oh, rad.
yeah. All right. Well, that is our show for this week. Everybody watching on Twitch, or if you are watching from the future in our YouTube archives, did the president die? Is America still a thing? What's going on in the world? I don't know. Tell me in the comments. But if you are watching this live, I will be on the Bleak and Review podcast that's supposed to be coming out tomorrow. So you can search for Bleak and Review on any of your podcast apps and find me talking about more serious things and also joking around. But yeah, thank you. I've been Kevin Collier. This is AMF Comedy Spectacular. We're back every week at 8 Pacific. Thank you to all our guests, Hollis Black, Joel Brill, Nick Larson, and Winston Hodges. Thank you so much. Have a great night, everybody.
Thanks a lot.